Now this is the For the Boys collaboration, and we are going to use Dollar Tree sign to make a Dollar Tree DIY for the boys gone fishing sign for my husband. And I have a wooden dowel that came off of one of the Dollar Tree scarecrows. I got this out of the 50-cent bin because the piece had come loose. This is one of the Dollar Tree Merry Christmas ornament signs. And I have 2 paper clips here. We're going to need those for our flanges for our fishing rod. I've got some leftover fabric that looks like burlap from off of a table runner, and I'm going to make my fish out of this. I also have the Dollar Tree letters, and these are the ones that I've shown you guys you can use with a pen, marker, or colored pencils. And I'm going to just color these in and put my gone fishing on there. This we're going to use to make our fish. So you'll need a pair of scissors, and you may want to get your red and white paint, depending on which color you wish to paint fishing sign. Now I took my tag off of my sign, guys, and I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to put me a faint pencil mark there. Because the red is a very, very dominant color, I am actually going to paint my white first up here up top. Then, because I'm using chalk paint, I'm probably going to need to take down my ruler here that's metal and do the red. But if the white goes over that line, no concern, because the red is more dominant. Now also up here at the top of my float, I'm going to take and mark it as well and just try to give me a faint line. Now the way I'm going to do this one, it will actually be white here, white down to bottom, and red here. On this sign, guys, it has glitter. I literally took my putty knife and I slide that glitter off, and it'll come right off. Now this that's here, I'm not worried about. It's not going to hurt anything. The cool thing about this particular sign is you can actually do this in a shiplap like wood, and most likely I'm probably going to have to do this wording and so forth a couple of times because I'm using the Waverly white chalk paint, and I'm just going to paint that as best I can, and then I will go back and do my red and just try to keep that covered because the red is so dominant. If you touch it or go anywhere near that red, it is going to smear. So right now I'm just going to get my white on there, and I pretty much know where that edge is, and I just did that as kind of a guide. I'm not concerned if it covers up the pencil mark or not. Alright, so far I put 3 coats of white on and just 1.5 coats of the red. I gotta let it dry really good, and then I'll finish it up. So in the meantime, let's work on our little fishing rod and let our chalk paint good and dry. I know by the measurements that I have done, I'm not going to need this bottom inch. So I'm just going to take my needle nose pliers, clip that off, and paint my fishing rod. And then that will get me that. And this has a little bit of glue and stuff, so I'll just use my sanding sponge and sand that off. Now for my fishing rod here, I've got sanded down. I'm just basically going to do it with a black Sharpie marker, or you can do this with a paint marker. Because it is round, it makes it a little difficult to try and brush paint it. Of course, you can do that too, but no more than I'm going to need. And I was going to make this originally like a cane pole, but I figure the black will show up really good against the letters and the sign itself. So just whichever way you want to go, you can paint it up any way you want. Welcome to the November 2020 For the Boys collaboration, and here is a picture and photo of all the co-hosts. Please be sure to check the playlist link down below in the description box and visit each and every one of them. Thank you all my team members. I love you for collaborating. Let's make our flanges. Even though a cane pole don't really have flanges, we're going to make flanges for ours to give it a little more character. So I'm taking a paper clip and I'm just opening it up, because not really going to need that much. You will need your needle nose pliers most likely. So I'm going to actually open these up versus trying to fight with this. I'm just going to make them equal. So I'm going to do a halfway point there and cut that in half. Now on this one, because I need this flange to be more downward and up, so to speak, so I'm going to bend it. Now I left this in so you guys can see how I'm making the flanges, and I have the hook later on in this same video. But if you'll slow it down, you can really make a great flange, just realistic. I may not need them that big at all. Oh, that's just right. So I'm going to make that, I'm going to glue that there, and I'll probably wrap some string around it just so it won't be looking awkward. And like I said, these do not have to be shaped perfect. It is our DIY. I am making an additional flange for the bottom half of the fishing rod as I've left here. By the way, guys, you can actually repair a fishing rod the same way. On the first original For the Boys video I ever did, I showed how to repair a flange on a fishing rod with my husband. So I will put that link in the description box, and if you look up here at the eye, I will put a link to that video if you'd like to check it out. I made him a fishing caddy, and he is fixing to go on his annual fishing trip, and this is actually going to be a Christmas present for him, so he doesn't know about this one. This is something that I'm doing that he's not going to know about until the time comes. So I think I'll just use 2 flanges, guys, and I'm going to glue those on. Yeah, I'll just make me some bands out of this right here. I'm not going to need very much at all. Got our paper clips, and then we got to have a hook. All right, so that little section right there that of the paper clip, I'm actually going to use it as my hook. So I think I'm going to cut it right there. Right, they got that. So I'll have my hook, and that's already coming about. I kind of like the way I did that. I did that pretty good, guys. So put that more of a curve on there. And then I'll just cut this difference right here and bend it about. Now those needle nose pliers will help you make a curly cue so that it looks truly, truly just like a fish hook. And it is awesome. There we go, guys. Got a little fishing hook. And I'll put my string on that. So we got our hook and we got our flanges. Good to go. All right, I'm going to get my flange on here. And if some of you know, some of you may not know, but I'll say it anyway, is most of the time the smaller flange goes up top, and then larger flange is going to be at the bottom. So this is my smaller one, and I'm going to put that on there. Then I think while that glue is still hot, I'm going to take that piece and band it on there. And that will give it the hold that it needs to keep it locked down for me. Ta-da! I'm going to do the next one the same way. Now make sure it's straight. So here's this one. I'm going to go way down here on this one. Alright, that is looking good, guys. That looks so cute. Okay, we need to put some string on it. And I do have, you can use about anything. You could put actual fishing line, but I think we're going to just use some twine on ours. And just to ensure, let's see, we need it to be yay long. We got to have some extra. So let's go ahead and run this through here. So I just began threading my twine through there and tying on my little hook to make our rod. Together. Okay, now we got our fishing rod made. Ain't it cute? Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. Look at that. Got our fishing rod made. Cool beans. Alright, so that's ready for the sign. We're going to set that aside and get our sign back. And now when I'm doing my letters, so that I do not miss myself on how many letters I need and making sure that I have enough to do what I'm going to do, I'm doing gone fishing, so I put an X by that letter. That lets me know I've already considered it, I've already counted it, and that I'm going to be using it, so that way I don't miss out on how many letters I actually need. Alright, so I've got my letters colored in, so while those are drying a little bit, let's work on our fish. And like I said, this is just some fabric I had left over. These fish don't have to be very big, but we're just going to kind of guesstimate. I've got my black marker again, and I'm just going to kind of make an oval. And then for the tails, the same way, just make an oval and an oval. They don't have to be perfect. I mean, unless you just really are being a perfectionist. I'm not really worried about them being too perfect. So maybe we'll make, I'm going to color this one in, probably deepen the others. Just go with it. And I'm going to actually use this one as my little guide, my pattern. Now on these, I'm just using a little bit of the Waverly Antique and Wax and just kind of deepening my burlap here, making it a little more brown. You could use paint, you could use a marker, about anything, just to give it a little bit of darkness. Even a pencil would darken them up. Piece of charcoal or chalk, about anything. And I'm just making mine look a little more brownish colored versus silver, because I'm really going for that rustic look, and I can get them lined up exactly the way I want them. So I'm going to put this black one down here. I love my silicone mat, guys, because look at that. And it just looks like they're just strung on there. So cool. And then that's ready for the sign as well. I'll cut that up there. I don't think I'll need that long a string. So there's our stringer of fish. Looks pretty good. I could have took the fabric and glued the back to this side, and I can still do that. You know, cut some out and just string it on the back. But being that the sign's going to be hung, I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. I don't think these are going to go anywhere. That burlap generally takes up any of that. All right, so I am staging out the sign here, guys. And I know that this is where my fishing rod and hook is going to go. This is where I'm going to have my fish. So I'm going to take and do this top part silver, because most time they're gold or silver on the floats. And so let me just take off my fishing rod. And in this center area, I'm probably going to use a black marker and just kind of distinct that line a little bit. But this little part up here, this very top part, just to make it look more realistic, I'm going to actually color that silver. Like I said, this could be silver or gold. Mine out a little bit with a paint marker and a magic marker, a little bit of black and a little bit of white, and just kind of give it a little more definition. Now I'm going to put my letters on there, and after I put my letters on, I will Mod Podge this before I glue anything on it. So our sign is ready to put together, and now it's just a matter of gluing everything into place, because we do have it staged, and I am ready to start putting this down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have finished our gone fishing float and our line with our fishing rod and our hook and our stringer of fish. and it just looks fantabulous. And I have initialed and dated my sign. So guys, try this out. It is an awesome, awesome Christmas present and gift for the boys. And give this to your enthusiastic fisherman or fisherwoman in the family. I think you'll have a lot of fun making this one, and definitely a great joy to use the Dollar Tree sign that is the Merry Christmas sign. Alrighty, you guys go out there and make you a dandy one. Until the next DIY. Now it is just about time for our annual fishing trip, and Mr. Michael is getting more excited. And I truly enjoyed making the sign. It would be a great gift, birthday present, Father's Day. If you're new to my channel, I appreciate the thumbs up. Make sure you read the comments and suggestion boxes. Everyone who subscribes to my channel is part of my DIY team. So certainly join me on all social media channels like Instagram and Facebook. Now, I really appreciate everyone who collaborated in For the Boys November 2020. Be sure to find that playlist link in the description box down below. Click on it and go through there and watch and see what everyone came up with. Now, as I always say, until the next DIY, I'll be crafting y'all, this time doing a little bit of fishing. This is Elizabeth, over and out. Bye, guys.